What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we are headed back to the People's Republic of Chicago because Emperor Brandon Johnson is clearing the homeless migrant population off the streets in preparation for the Democratic National Convention that is coming to Chicago. I believe it is next Monday on the 19th. Now, mind you, this was a man who at one point was bragging about how accommodating he was to the illegal immigrant population. He even somewhat chastised other cities like or states, I should say, and or cities like Philadelphia, Boston, LA, New York, for putting certain restrictions on how many beds they could issue out to the so-called migrants, how long they can stay at shelters, so on and so forth. Look at this clip here where Brandon Johnson was bragging on how accommodating the city of Chicago is under his management and under his watch as it pertains to allowing all the illegal immigrants to come into the city, and we'll take care of them all on the U.S. citizens' dime in the city of Chicago. Let's get into this clip right here, and then we're going to get into the article.
Control what's going on at the border. And we got to keep in mind, that is the genesis of this crisis. So we're doing everything in our power. We're the only city in this country that has not put restraints. Other places like Massachusetts, 7,500 beds, that's it. Billions of dollars for the entire state. Denver, New York, DC, Philadelphia, all of these places. And I have no judgment against them. This is the decision that they made. They placed restraints. We have been open and quite accommodating during a very difficult moment in our nation's history. But this is
what he's doing right now is that he's signaling to the DNC leadership team, look at me, I've been a good boy. I've been a good Democrat shill. I've been a good NPC. I haven't put any restrictions on the migrants. Please, by all means, send more illegal immigrants to Chicago. That's an open invitation that he's putting out for more illegal immigrants to be sent and bused to Chicago. We will take care of you. Don't worry about going to Massachusetts. Don't worry about going to Philadelphia. Don't worry about going to New York. Please come one, come all to the city of Chicago, and we will house you all on the south and west side on the citizens' dime. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of you.
Is unsustainable, absent significant federal intervention. Whatever.
Let me rewind it back just a little bit.
During a very difficult moment in our nation's history. But this is unsustainable, absent significant federal intervention. Whatever I do for this crisis, absent investment from the federal government, it's not sustainable. Look, y'all, this is some sickening stuff right here. To just put people on buses and just say, good luck.
That's not what's happening. Stop lying on Greg Abbott's name. Stop lying on Greg Abbott's name. We've discussed this so many times here. When the so-called migrants, illegal immigrants, cross the border, they're given the option on where they want to go. And if they want to go to New York, they want to go to Boston, they want to go to Chicago, they want to go to Denver, they decide where they want to go. No one's just randomly shipping illegal immigrants to Chicago. That's a lie that Brandon Johnson keeps telling.
And just say, good luck. That's real jacked up. That's the problem, is that we have the governor of Texas who needs to find a soul.
He's the one to talk about somebody who needs to find his soul. You know, says the man that has completely turned his back on the city of Chicago. Well, I can't say he turned his back on the city, because he was never for the citizen population. He literally came in to manage the migrant crisis and to do everything that he's bragging about in this video here, was to be the most accommodating mayor out of all the mayors in the United States that are dealing with the migrant crisis. That's what he came into the office. That's what he came into office to do. And that's what he's doing right now. Now, what I want to do is just show you a quick little clip of just a little bit of the cleanup work that's going on. Because like I said, you see, he's bragging about this right now. But now that Obama and Harris are coming to town because of the Democratic National Convention, oh, they got to go now. Get them off the streets for the moment. And when Obama and Harris and Biden leave, then we'll let them come back onto the streets. But right now, it's time to clean these guys up. So that's just a real quick video. You know, there's other videos that are out there, but there's no need to beat a dead horse concerning this. That's just a quick clip of some of the cleanup work that's going on in the city of Chicago. But what I really want to do is get into this article here, because it shows the lies that's going on in the city. Emperor Brandon Johnson is trying to deny that the cleanup is happening because of the upcoming DNC. He's saying that we already had this plan, even though his officials already admitted that it's because of the DNC convention that's happening, right? So let's get into this here. You know, lying is what they do in the Johnson administration. This article here is titled, "Chicago Officials Deny Cleanup of Homeless Encampment Containing Migrants Related to Upcoming DNC," DNC being Democratic National Convention. Let's get into this very quickly. Chicago City Council denied that the cleanup of homeless encampments containing migrants has anything to do with the upcoming Democratic National Convention, DNC. A large homeless encampment was cleared on July 17th, the Chicago Tribune reported. The paper reported further that Mura McKaylee, I think I'm saying her last name right, that Mura McKaylee, managing deputy commissioner of the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services, said that the efforts was fast-tracked in time for the Democratic National Convention in late August. Okay? So the managing deputy commissioner of the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services already admitted that that's why they're getting the so-called migrants, Kamala's migrants, off the street, right? Clear them out of the way. Obama, Harris, and Biden are coming into town. She said that there were worries that security officials with the convention could suddenly ask that the tent city be evacuated, the Tribune reported. So she was just getting ahead of the game. She was getting ahead of the game. In between all the Secret Service coming through and whatnot, you know, she said, let's just clear these guys out now and let's fast track this because they're going to ask us to do it anyway. We might as well just clean up shop now. However, a spokesman for the department, Brian Berg, reportedly later said that the effort had nothing to do with the convention. But we all know that that's not true because the manager, right? She already stated that that's why they were doing that. Lies on lies on lies when it comes to the People's Republic of Chicago and those managing and running the city. Furthermore, Mayor Brandon Johnson has also reportedly denied that the encampment initiative was prompted by the upcoming DNC. And we all know anything that's coming from Brandon Johnson's mouth is just to be taken with a grain of salt. We can almost assure that anytime he opens his mouth, he's lying. Okay, Brandon Johnson is pretty much always lying when he opens his mouth. According to the Tribune, the encampment clearing was part of Chicago's encampment initiative to clean up 8 tent cities across Chicago. Allegedly, right? Empty spaces located by police stations in Chicago were packed with encampments containing migrants. One of the migrants who witnessed the encampment cleanup spoke with the Tribune about the initiative. Oh my God, what I'm getting ready to read here right now, this is rich. This is rich. Listen to this. Jordan Pata, excuse me, let me roll my R's. Jordan Pata told the paper that he didn't walk across 7 countries to be kicked out of his tent in a park in Chicago. The entitlement is wild. The entitlement is off the chain. I'm going to read that again from Jordan Parra. He said, with all of his arrogance and all of his entitlement, right? Because Chicago's his city now. You thought it was your city. It's not your city. No, no, no. The People's Republic of Chicago belongs to him, right? And the illegal immigrants that have crossed the border and now live there. He said he didn't walk across 7 countries to be kicked out of his tent in a park in Chicago. How dare you? I didn't walk across 6 countries for this. What? I'm in Chicago now. This is my city. How dare you kick me out of my tent in this park? Once again, the entitlement is unbelievable. But I digress. Parra chose not to stay in shelters for safety reasons and was living in one of the encampments. Johnson's office did not immediately respond to a request to comment from Fox News Digital. Of course, he didn't want to say anything. Why would Brandon Johnson say anything? Right? As long as he's being protected by the DNC leadership team, he doesn't have to answer to anything, and he doesn't have to answer to anyone, and he literally never does. The Democratic National Convention starts August 19th at the United Center and will run through August 22nd. In April, the city approved of $70 million to support illegal immigrants in the city. Once again, just like how the comptroller in New York City has done a thorough investigation and has continued to do a thorough investigation and audit on the money, the millions of dollars that have been spent and wasted in the city, I really hope the same thing is done in the People's Republic of Chicago. But we all know Chicago, I think it's been voted on multiple occasions as the most corrupt city in the nation, so everybody's in on it, man. There's not going to be an audit unless it's just something independent. And we've seen like local news stations like I believe like ABC and whatnot, attempt to do like audits and stuff like that over there. And they've attempted to just find out what's actually going on with the migrant spending. And they've done a relatively decent job at doing it. The local ABC stations, the local NBC stations, the local Fox stations, and WGN in Chicago, they've done a decent job. I'm not going to front on them like they haven't tried. But as it pertains to actual city officials in the People's Republic of Chicago, forget about it, man. The money's gone. The money's gone. It's gone. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. Brandon Johnson is kicking these migrants off the streets temporarily just to make space for Obama, Harris, Tim Walz, and Biden. But once the convention is over, they'll all be right back on the street where they kicked them out from, right? And what's his name? Jordan Parra can feel at home again in his tent in the park, because how dare you all kick him out of the park when he crossed 7 countries to get here? Anyways, that does it for today's news. With all that being said, please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video out on your social media platforms. And also don't forget to follow me on Telegram and Rumble. Both the link to my Telegram and Rumble will be in the description box below, as well as pinned in the comment section as well. That is extremely important that you follow me on Telegram and Rumble at TD Media Group. Thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.